guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today, in today's video, we're going to be going over how I meal prep and ingredient prep all of my stuff for the week. I have found that if I don't do this for the week, I just don't do as well with cooking. I still cook, but it's not as good with food because I don't have the time that it takes to do really good food and like prep really good food and just do all the things, right? I help people all day, almost all day. I either read ingredient labels or I help people figure out like what foods to eat and what foods to consume. I come up with meal plans. Like, I am tired of talking about food and thinking about food, that by the time it takes, you know, for me to, like, by the time I'm done with work and I'm like looking at the food that I need to feed my family, I'm tired of feeding and thinking about food and what food to make and all that kind of stuff, that I just want it done and easy because I'm so burnt out by it. And I have discovered this, the more I take on and the more patients I take on and the more clients I take on, I have noticed that I just kind of get like that with my family because I'm so in myself. Because by the time I'm done with all of that, I'm so tired of talking about food, thinking about food and all of that, but I still have to feed myself and my family. So all that to say, in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you how I meal prep, and for like a family, which is a little bit different. Most of my adult life, I've done meal prep, but it's always been assembled meal prep where I have like the whole meal put together. All I do is heat it up and eat it. Or the snack is already put together and I just open it up and eat it. But ever since having a family, I've had to really change the way that I do that because of the fact that I have a family and things are different. So I pretty much make the batter and put all the ingredients together, and that way all I have to do in the morning is like pour the batter into a muffin tin, or if it's pancakes, pour it into the pan and flip it. I know that sounds so ridiculous, but it saves me so much time. From start to finish, all of my meal prep and cleaning took me 2 hours. And 2 hours on the weekend is not that bad because you split it up between an hour on Saturday this weekend, not all the time, but on this weekend I split it up an hour on Saturday and an hour on Sunday. Again, meal prep and clean. And I also did some ingredient prep, and I did all of that again within 2 hours. This has saved me 1 hour every day during the week just by doing this. It takes me 30 minutes to cook dinner now and 30 minutes to clean up dinner, which is amazing. It used to take me an hour to do both. An hour to do cleaning, this is my cat, an hour to do the cleaning and an hour to do the cooking. And so I'm so thankful that I finally have started to do this again more and more. And it has genuinely just saved me, there she is. It has saved me so much time and so much cleanup, and I'm so grateful. And any hand washed dishes I can handle because I only have 3 dishes to wash usually, because I do the main and then like 2 sides. And so it's just been really, really nice. And so anyways, welcome to this video. Thank you so much. If you are new here, welcome. And if you want anything that you see in my home, or if you are interested in more in what I do and all of that stuff, I have everything linked in the description box below. I do run my own business as well through telehealth and all of that. And so I love what I do. And so if you're interested in more of that, all my links will be in the description box below. Bye guys, and welcome to this video. Stick around and subscribe. All right, so let's get into cooking the bacon first. This is what it looked like whenever I took it out. I did some of this yesterday, as I mentioned. So on Saturday, I cooked the bacon, and this is some of the other stuff I'm gonna show you that I made. First, I make some cold brew coffee. I just literally make coffee in a coffee maker and then let it get cold, because I do like the idea of having iced coffee throughout the week, and sometimes I like warm coffee, so I like a mixture of all of that. And so I just like to keep that with me. These are all the different options I have for coffee creamers. I like to keep it stocked. But anyways, that's some of the stuff that I like to keep on hand, because I do like to treat myself to an iced coffee periodically, but we don't live close to anywhere to get one, so I kind of just have this in here. And it also saves a lot of money, so if you're looking to save money, this is a really great way to have a treat for yourself. But yeah, this is a SodaStream container that I put it in. It keeps it super fresh. It lasts for like 2 weeks versus this jar that lasts like a week or so. So I really do like that a lot. And then I did cut up some of these tomatoes that needed to be used up. And then this is those sausage balls for breakfast. They have like breakfast sausage. I don't know. I'll leave the recipe in the description box below, because they're really good. My family loves them. These are breakfast sliders. Those are really, really yummy as well. We just had them today as I'm filming this, and they are really good. And then this is pumpkin chocolate chip muffins, just the batter. And then that is some oats that I keep for breakfast. So these are all of our breakfast options, minus like cereal, bagels, things like that. So there's plenty of options here. And then right here, I am cutting up, and again, like ingredient prepping. So I might not be cooking this stuff, but I do like to have it already prepped to where all I have to do is toss it on a sheet pan, toss it in a skillet, whatever it may be, to where I don't have a lot to do at all. Like I don't have a cutting board to cut up. I don't have a ton of knives to clean, none of this. Like this was all what I would have to clean on the actual day of, and I just don't really want to do that. So I typically like to get, bell pepper wise, a variety of color. And a lot of times in the grocery store, if you go in, I never went in for this particular trip, but if you go in, you can find them on a discount, especially at H-E-B, where you can get this bell pepper for like 50% off. So if that's something that you know that you're going to be eating the next couple of days and you're meal prepping it, I highly recommend looking into that, because no one really realizes this, but bell peppers it's important to have variety whenever it comes to bell peppers nutritionally. And so I like to just have the green ones. Those are the most not nutritional dense, and all the way up to the red. It's the same bell pepper. It's just whenever they're taken off the vine, that's what changes the color. But the longer that they sit on the vine, the more nutritionally dense that they become. And so I have found to kind of create variety in our life to have multiple different colors. Right here, I like to take those ends of the bell peppers and chop them up versus slicing them. And I like adding bell pepper to just about everything, so I am putting this in a smaller container, and I'll also be putting a little bit of the leftover onion in there as well. And then I still have more to use after that, which is a really great way to be a little bit more thrifty with your money, with your groceries, things like that. I find whenever I meal prep like this or ingredient prep, we actually use all the stuff that we have in our fridge, and we don't have a lot going on as far as like throwing things away. You will notice that behind me there is a bunch of groceries, and you'll also find my son, but there is a bunch of like random little like containers that I took out of the fridge and all that stuff. I cleaned out the fridge. That is a month and a half's worth of like cleaning out the fridge. Like I don't clean out the fridge every week now because I don't have to. I clean out the fridge like once a month, if that. And it's all really due to me like meal prepping and taking care of our home in that way, and making sure that I'm thrifty with the food that we have. So all that to say, if you're at least trying to use up the food that you have and not waste it, this is a really nice way to do that. Because I hated cleaning out the fridge, so I was like, there's got to be a way to fix this. And the way to fix it was to actually just make sure that we eat and cook the food that we have. And I also, if I notice that we're starting to get a lot of leftovers, I will not cook that night, and we will eat all of the leftovers that we have. Everyone gets to pick what they want, and I heat it all up in the oven, and I just let it heat up. Everyone gets to eat something. If I need a side or something in relation to like we have a protein source but we don't really have a lot of sides, I will go ahead and make some sides that go along with that dish, but then we'll have the main course as the meat, as what we are having. So that's kind of a little bit about what I do there. I think it does work really well. And yeah, so with this fajita mixture that I'm making, we were having a sheet pan fajita dinner, and this is just one of the ways I like to do that. So this is an onion that I'm slicing up, and this is just what I like to do, and I like to put it in that kind of container. These containers that I'm using to store all this stuff in is glass, and it also has a like ring around it, like I I don't really want to call it an O-ring, but kind of like where it goes around the top, and that kind of protects it from any of the oxidation that could happen in the fridge over time, to where it keeps your ingredients and meals fresh. So that's what I'm doing right here. I'm putting them on and kind of like pushing it all down to make sure that it's all sealed in and locked in, which is something that I enjoy and I'm looking forward to. Now, something that I like to do with onions is I like to bag the container again, so that way my fridge doesn't smell like onions, because that was something I was running into, and so I just put a Ziploc bag around the outside, and it works great. And then I reuse that bag for another time that I have onions, because typically every week I have onions on the menu, so this is something that I get to reuse every week. Or I get to store leftovers in. I use those bags for just about everything. So no waste there, just, good stuff. Now we're moving on to, I don't remember. I think this is the chicken salad. Let's see. Yep, the chicken salad. So I had an older onion, a little bit more mild tempered one, where it wasn't so strong like the other fajita onions were. And so I use that for chicken salad. Now, chicken salad we use for snacks around here. We use it for lunches sometimes. Most of the time it's lunches, actually. And it's just an easy grab and go kind of lunch that my husband can take with him if he decides that he wants to bring a lunch, or if he comes home and he's hungry and he wants a lunch. This is one of the ways that I like to have that and to serve him and to serve our family. And if anytime I am hungry and I'm just wanting more of a hearty snack, this is the way that I like to do that. So I'm just dicing up this onion, and I'm just going to keep dicing it up. Then I went to the fridge and found the rest of my ingredients. I had some old celery that I needed to use. I also sometimes add apples. I add carrots. I mean, I've added just about everything to chicken salad. It just depends on which vegetables I need to use up. Every week we don't actually eat like a chicken salad. I might make tuna salad. I might make egg salad. I might just chop up these vegetables and use it in the different foods that we're eating. I just like to have one dish or one lunch or one something that incorporates our leftover vegetables that need to be eaten, so that way nothing goes to waste. And so this particular week it was chicken salad, and so I decided that I was going to cut up some celery. I had some grapes in the fridge. I was about to say the oven. That would have been definitely incorrect. And then the onion, and that's about it. I like to add like chopped pecans and walnuts on top of mine. My husband despises that, so I omit that on these, so that way he actually enjoys it too. And then I just add my toppings as I wish, and he also likes to add jalapenos and stuff like that. But if I'm feeding that to our son, like chicken salad to our son, he does not like jalapenos, so we will both add that separate as well. I like to keep it as pretty basic, so that way we can add whatever we want. Or like if I want like a kind of like a tuna melt-esque for lunch, I do this with chicken salad too, and it tastes just as good in my opinion. So anyways, all of that to say, I keep it super generic, so that way I get to use it for just about anything. And oh yeah, totally forgot I added cucumber. Yep, that's what it was. I was like, there was something else. Instead of pickles, like I didn't have pickles one time, so I made it with cucumber, and my husband ate it and he was like, oh, always do that. So now I add cucumber to it. I also do add some relish anyways, just because I do like a little bit of that vinegary taste. But cucumbers are always a staple with our chicken salad. So there's all my ingredients as far as like vegetables go that I put in here this time. So again, super basic, super simple. I don't go crazy with this meal prep stuff because it is just not worth the time, in my opinion. Like, there are some people that make some crazy stuff and I think it's great. I really do. Like, I really like it. It just seems to be like just too much for me to be able to handle. So I don't typically do that, but I had a little bit of mustard. Shh, don't tell my husband. He does not know that mustard is in here, and he does not know, but he said that he liked whatever I did last time, and whatever I did last time was mustard. So that's what we're doing in this one, and he also said it tasted just good as the last one. So shh, keep my secret for me. And then I'm gonna finish off this relish. My husband loves a ton of relish, especially sweet relish in his, so we do a mix of sweet and not. I really don't care. That's how come I say my husband a lot, because he's really particular about certain foods and I really am not. So for me, I just kind of do a little bit of what the whole family likes, and I'll just eat whatever, because I'm not that kind of person. I am seriously probably the one that could probably find anything in the fridge or the pantry and eat it and not care. I am the one that also eats leftovers in this house. My husband, bless his heart, he just doesn't like it, and so I just don't. He eats like fresh foods, and he eats like chicken salad and stuff like that, which technically is somewhat of a leftover, but he doesn't like our dinner leftovers. I typically eat them. So anyways, all that to say, this chicken salad I am mixing up, and then I'm going to add some additional seasonings. This is just more of like a season how you want it, and you taste it and see if it tastes good, and then you add more what you like, what you don't like. So that's typically what I do here. I have no rhyme or reason to any of my ingredients, any of my seasonings, not one. And one last thing, you're gonna be like, that's a ton of mayo. I understand. This container of mayo was about to go out, and my husband loves a ton of mayo, and so I just wanted to like incorporate this somehow into a meal, so that way we're using enough of the mayo and I don't feel bad about throwing it away, because I did my best with trying to use it. So that's what this mayo is, and my husband loves a ton of sauce, so there's that. And again, I don't care, so I'll just do that. It's not a big deal to me. I don't really like a ton of mayo, but I do kind of like tend to wipe it off or whatever if I need to, so it's really not a big deal. But I continue to mix this up, and then this is what it looks like whenever it's all mixed up in the container. And then I put a lid on it, and this is what it looked like with the seasonings on top. I do a little bit more sprinkle on top, and then I am done, and I toss that in the fridge. Now, if you're gonna use this all week, keep the vegetables separate from the sauce and everything. It does help a lot. We're gonna eat this in probably like 2 days, so it wasn't really necessary for me to do that. But yeah, and then in my planner in the bottom in this little section, I write out everything that I need to do as far as meal prep goes, and anything that I omit, I scratch out, and anything I did, I check off, so that way I know what's going on. But I keep that in my planner. It keeps me on track. It allows me to do a really good job, and I know exactly what I need to be doing whenever I come home from the grocery store, which is the ultimate thing that you need in your life, in my opinion. Now, the next thing we're going to make is this peanut sauce. Again, I don't make the full meal. I make things that are going to take too much time during the week. So I'm really specific with what I meal prep and ingredient prep, because if it takes too long, then I'm not going to do it for the week. I'm going to do it during my meal prep. But for this particular case, everything else was pretty much already done for me, and all I would have to do is make this. So I decided to mix that up, and that's why I'm just making this instead of the full ingredient prep. I actually don't remember like everything I put in the sauce, so I will leave the one that I used down below. I made my own spin of it based on what we had in our house, and then whenever I cook it on the actual day, I am going to kind of taste it and then kind of adjust it based on what I like and what our family likes. But I did add a little bit more liquid than usual just because it's going to be sitting in the fridge for a couple of days. So I wanted to make sure that I was not going to get too dry while sitting in the fridge because peanut butter can get kind of thick. So I made it a little bit thinner just to make sure. And then if you see a little hand, that's my son. He's helping me make this. So that was really fun. But we love like peanut sauces and things like that, and it's a really great way to add extra protein into your diet, and in a really easy way to where you're not eating a ton more protein in a way. So I just kept it in the container. That's what the recipe said to do. So I just had a little bit left over of peanut butter, and so I just kind of kept it in that container. That's what it said in the recipe, and so I will let you guys know if I like it or not. The next thing here is actually something that's new. I have no idea if my son will eat it or not, but I figured I might as well make it, because then if he doesn't eat it, then I will eat it for lunch. But it is quinoa cheesy bites. He eats these things called chicken fries for lunch. He loves them. He doesn't eat them every single day for lunch, but he does really love them. And I wanted to pair it with something more fun that was a little bit different, that looked similar to what he typically eats, which are those chicken fries. And I wanted him to have something with like a little bit more like, I don't know, different types of protein mixed with it. And so I want to make these into like strips similar to what he's used to. But this recipe is super simple, and I just wanted to try it. You can add also different sorts of vegetables, and in this case I'm actually adding chicken to it to see how that goes. But it's super simple, and you can add pretty much anything you want. But I took 1 bag of that, I added 3 eggs and some chicken, and then I also added some cheese. What else to add? Oh, cheese. And that's pretty much it. Everything else, all you do is mix it up, and that is it for this recipe. And I was surprisingly amazed by how easy this was. And this is more of like a batter, so it's not really going to be like cooked today. It's just going to go in a bag, to where I did like a plastic bag on purpose so that way I could cut it out, like the end off, and then make it into like little strips, similar to what my son is used to. And how come literally no one told me that I did not add chicken to the chicken salad? I had to literally add that later. I totally forgot. So whenever I was adding all the chicken into this recipe for Jace, I went ahead and added the chicken to the chicken salad that I should have done. So there's that. So I basically just took a bigger spoon and dumped it all in there. It seems to be really cool. We have really different, like, fun little cutout things that I use for fruit. I really don't know what they're called. They're like mini cookie cutters, and I use those for fruit a lot. So I might even use that with this to make it more like fun shaped, like dinosaurs or butterflies, stars, something like that, where it's like a little bit more fun. But I don't know. I just did a small batch this time just to try it out, and it has to sit in the fridge anyway, so I figured this would be a really great way to use that and to pair it with this chicken fingers, and then to see if he likes it, and then if he does, kind of switch him over to this instead of chicken fingers. Not because they're bad for him, but because he needs variety, and that's what we are going ahead and doing. And then here's me adding the chicken to the chicken salad, because I made all of that and did not add any chicken to the chicken salad until afterwards. And then I'm just remixing everything and making sure it's all good, and then I'm going to put the lid back on and put it back in the fridge like where it was supposed to be. And then now I am starting to clean up. I like to clean out the dishwasher first before I add more dirty dishes back to it. Typically the dishwasher does most of this cleaning for meal prep, just because I don't have time. Like, I'm already not having that much time anyways, and so I want to make sure that I have food prepped, that I'm not going to take the time to wash every single bowl and dish that I use during that time, because it will be too overwhelming for me. So I'm just cleaning out the dishwasher, and then I'm going to be restocking it with all the dirty dishes that we made today. Again, this took me a total of like 2 hours across 2 days, so that wasn't too bad, I don't think. So there's that. The last things that I do for this week is I fill up my little K-Cup pods. I've had these since college, guys. Like, I love these things and I've used them for so long. They have held up so well. They are linked on my website if you want to try them, but I like it because I get to change my coffee based on what I'm feeling that week, and I really don't have to worry about it. So I fill these up with some coffee. This is just like a normal dark roast. I like dark roast most of the time. Anyways, I put the canister up, and then I put those in their little place by my Keurig. I also have these breakfast blend decaf options just because sometimes I like a warm drink during the winter, and I like coffee. I just don't like the caffeine all the time. So I like to switch it up, or let's say I'm having a high anxiety morning, I like to have decaf. It just kind of settles my stomach more, but it still gives me that routine of coffee. So I really do like that. One of the last things that I do is any package that's opened that is more of a bulk option, I like to put in smaller bags, because my son is at the point now where he will go ahead and grab the snack that he wants and then open it up and start eating it, or if he can't open it, he'll ask me and eat it, and then he'll throw away like the wrapping after that. And so because of that, and to encourage more independence, I decided that I was going to make these into smaller bags, so that way he can just go into the pantry, find what he likes, tell me what he wants, and I'll open it up and everything like that, and then he goes and throws it away. It's just a lot simpler of a process for us. And then for church and other events where we're leaving and needing a quick option, or like when we go to the library on Wednesdays, things like that, it's just nice to have a quick snack to throw in your bag. I do this with just about anything. I take a bulk size that I buy in the store and make it into smaller bags. I do think it does save you money. I know that some people say it doesn't, but in my opinion, in my experience, it has. And it also has allowed us to have a stash at home and a couple snack bags for the week, because realistically there's only 5 days in a week. We only have one kid also, so keep that in mind. We only have one child, and he goes to daycare, but he doesn't need like lunches or anything like that. So that might be the difference in your family, and so that might change a lot of that. So So that's all that I have with this. I put the Ziplocs back, and I put those in the pantry, and then this is what my fridge looks like afterwards, and it's all stocked and fresh and ready for the week, and it just feels really good to have all these different options ready at my fingertips to where I don't have to worry about anything. And I also still have pantry staples ready to go, so I just feel really good and ready to go for the week. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.